Welcome back to the end of month showcase, aka the indie game radar. I'm a little bit late on this one because life was lifing so hard over the last couple weeks. I hurt my foot, if you saw my community post, and then I got sick for a little bit, so I was kind of having to rest my voice so I didn't like blow it out and kind of lose my voice. But here we are with the indie game radar. So the theme for the end of May is going to be centered around what I believe to be game of the year contenders, and I will talk about that at the end of this video, what game of the year contenders means to me. And as you can see from the thumbnail, and as you can see from the footage you're probably seeing right now, one of those games is pretty highly controversial right now, and I'm not sure why, because it's been pretty crazy nonetheless. This is just video games. This is not deep. This is not deep by any stretch of the imagination, but again, we'll get there when we get there. But of course, talk about some games that I played, show off some demos, show off some things in the community, as well as talk about some early access updates as well. So hope you enjoy that. Hope you enjoy this kind of new editing style. I was kind of getting tired of the green scene, so kind of gonna change it up a little bit by splicing in what I have going on right now, and also splicing some footage as well. So let's get into the showcase right now. When it comes to the games that I played over the month of May, I gotta start this one off at a little bit of a sour note, because Emberbane unfortunately was a very disappointing game for me, and I hate to say it because I backed this game on Kickstarter about a couple years ago and I was so hyped for it. It was a lot of promising things that happened, and then when the game released, I did see a little bit of bugs relating to the game, and I was okay, maybe I'll hold off a little bit for a while and just wait for it to kind of die down, kind of wait for the devs to throw in some patches, because you know, sometimes releases have some bad states. You never know what kind of feedback you'll get, and they did make an effort to fix some of those bugs. But I think for me personally, I picked it up and I played about 3 hours or so, and I was just bored. I think that's what it was. I was just bored. And again, I was really excited for this game. In fact, the footage you're even seeing is not even footage that I've got. This is actually just from the trailer, and it looks more exciting than it actually is from moment to moment gameplay. This game promised a mix of Avatar: The Last Airbender and Devil May Cry, and it does kind of do that in similar ways. It does have the Avatar: The Last Bender kind of combat, because you have the 4 different elements between water and fire and storm and earth, and you're having to actually hot switch between all of them to do all the platforming and the combat, kind of like style switching between DMC. So man, I was just bored from playing the game. A lot of the rooms that you go into are empty. The environments, even though they look impressive, they're just empty and they're not filled with a lot of things. The distance between save points is incredibly long, and from the time that you go from one save point to the next is so long that if you die and you respawn back to your previous save point, you lose so much progress and have to go from one place to the next, and it's so far away. You can't even fast travel. At least at the point I was at, you can't fast travel yet, and maybe you can later on in the game. It just wasn't something that I was so super excited about. Also, the platforming even early on is super unforgiving, and I know that kind of happens with Metroidvanias. It is what it is, but man, the platforming was so unforgiving, and even the combat itself was a little bit more stiffer than I wanted it to be. Overall, I was fairly disappointed with this game, and I hate to say it because I was really excited for this game when it came out, and even though there were a little bit of bugs, I had a few bugs even playing on the Steam Deck. The game just crashed on me a couple times, just didn't boot up when I tried to load up a save point, and there were some optimization issues, and I just had to put it down. I just couldn't do it anymore. I was like, I just can't play this. And sometimes I'll try to get through a game even if I'm not really feeling it, to kind of just see if I can get through the majority of the content, especially when I'm making videos for the channel. But it just didn't do it. I just couldn't do it, man. It just wasn't for me. But a couple other games that I did play was Returnal, which I'm so glad I picked up Returnal when I did, because it was on a massive sale. And the reason why I picked up Returnal is because Soros is not going to be on PC. Sony decided to say, hey, we're going to keep all of our games exclusive to PlayStation and not put any of them going forward on the PC, which I think is a mistake, because there's a large PC market, and even though we may have to wait a year or so, we will buy Sony games. But they're like, hey, we're not gonna do that. So Soros, sorry, you're not gonna get Soros. You're not gonna get any of the other new games going forward. And I was really upset by that. So I'm like, man, I'll just pick up Returnal, and it was on a massive sale at the time. And I love the sci-fi aspect of this game, and the graphics are a little bit more upscaled from games that I play normally, and just everything feels so good. I love the bullet hell mechanics, and I know people have said this game isn't really like a true roguelike or a true roguelike, but I don't know. that feels like a roguelike to me. I'm not really as stringent in my definitions or my concepts. I really loved playing Returnal. Anytime I picked it up and played it, I was so immersed in the world, just getting through the different runs, understanding the story, understanding how you got to this planet, and also interacting with your past selves and seeing the past, and just going through this entire setting, as dark as it is incredible. A lot of fun. I'm so glad I finally picked this one up. I heard a lot about this over the years, and I'm so glad I was able to pick it up. A lot of fun, very fun roguelike. But over on the opposite side of roguelikes, Froggy Hates Snow is very cozy. This is probably one of the coziest games that I've played this year so far, and it has just enough combat in it to kind of keep me hooked in. And so basically, Froggy Hates Snow, if you don't know what this game is, it came out a few weeks ago. You're essentially a frog and a little heat bubble, and you are clearing out snow patches, and you're gathering resources to survive in this harsh environment, taking all the resources that you've gathered back to your little heat bubble and upgrading things like your tongue, your ability to dig farther, your ability to carry more resources, some special abilities, poison, some things that you'll get like skis or gloves or ice picks or shovels or anything like that. And through that, you survive, and then you have various waves of enemies that you fight from 1 to 10, and you fight a boss at the very end. Or you can find things like treasures, or these things called anomalous zones, which gives you extra resources, but they have a varying amounts of hazards that you have to get through. So there's a mix of survival and there's mixes of combat, and you kind of have to almost min-max your way through the survival and combat encounters to kind of see, hey, do I need to put more points into clearing out the snow faster, or more points into attack, or more points into carrying more resources. So you kind of have to figure that out as you go throughout this. But even with all that in there, this game is very cozy, and I loved it a lot. I love the music in this game. This music is very just chill and relaxing. Even in the combat, the music just picks up just a little bit. It's kind of the same like chill, serene vibe the whole time, and that's what makes this a lot cozy. I mean, I played this game in bed. I was sick for a little bit, and I played this game when I was sick. Whenever I had issues with my foot, I was just playing this game while I was just laid up, and I had really nothing to play, or if I just wanted something in short bursts or something more cozy to play, I was playing Froggy Hates Snow. So very fun game. Hope you picked it up. Hope you play this game. So yeah, of course, I'm gonna get to those big games at the end of this video, but these are some of the games that I played during the month of May. Parkour through the ruins of a megastructure, climb massive bosses, and hunt down every construction equipment in this slice of life action adventure with immaculate vibes. That's entirely why I was sold on Motor Slice. The vibes of this are totally immaculate. The music on this is just so serene and doesn't really match what you're actually doing, because you're fighting actual giant construction vehicles with this giant chainsaw. So it's super fun. It came out on May the 5th, so it actually came out earlier this month and is actually doing pretty well. Let me know if you played the full game itself. I've only played the demo, and the demo is really fun. Again, the vibes are immaculate. If you haven't checked the demo already for Motor Slice, I highly encourage you to do. It's really fun. Love the parkour vibes, love the action, and again, the vibes are a 10 out of 10 for me. Check out Motor Slice.
This is Slicer P. Over. I've arrived at the megastructure. Get in, eliminate the machines, and get out. That was the job. But things are never that simple.
Everything moves when you do and enter the Chronosphere, the turn-based bullet hell roguelike. Each Chronosphere is procedurally generated with defenders and biomes from the world it has consumed. Break in and find exotic weaponry and gadgets, outsmart hostile aliens, and fight your way to the core. I love the art style of this game. It looks really cool. Love the design of each of the different characters that you're interacting with. This game actually came out on May the 25th, so let me know if you've played the full game already. Love the idea that when you move, enemies move, and you kind of have to plan and your attacks. That's part of the strategy, that's part of the tactics, and you have a lot of bullets, a lot of things flying at you. And again, the roguelike structure, I think this works perfectly well in the roguelike genre. I think it's great, a lot of fun. Again, only had time to play the demo, but the full game is out right now, so check out Enter the Chronosphere. Blades of Fire is a dark fantasy adventure where forging steel shapes combat progression and fate. Admittedly, this is not an indie game. This is actually being developed by the folks at Mercury Steam and published by 505 Games. It's actually the people that brought us some of the 3D Castlevania games, and also one of my favorite Metroid games, Metroid Dread. So this game looks really great. I love the idea that you are a blacksmith that forges his own weapons to go out and fight in combat. The art style is really cool. I love the way this looks. I love the way this feels. It's actually doing not as well as I thought it would be. It's kind of an underrated looking game so far. Again, not an indie, but it's kind of underrated. At the time of this recording, it's sitting at mostly positive, only 278 reviews on Steam, and maybe it is doing more well on other consoles. But Blades of Fire looks really cool. The demo, if you haven't played this already, but it did come out on May the 14th, so the full game is out right now. If you want to play Blades of Fire, check it out. It's super cool.
Steel turns to stone. Only you can forge it. Wield it. Honor it. Your path will try to kill you at every turn. Your fate will drag your soul to the brink of hell. Your purpose will demand more than you ever thought you could give. But steel remembers the hand that forged it, the heart that wielded it, the spirit that honored it. And if you prove worthy, it will stand with you always. Tell me, warrior, what metal are you made of?
Phonopolis is a story-driven puzzle adventure set in a hand-painted 3D world made of cardboard. Solve a wide variety of playful puzzles and help Felix and the leader's oppressive influence in a resonant dystopian city inspired by avant-garde art. Fantastic art. I don't know whose idea it was to create cardboard art and turn it into a video game, but this looks amazing. It is all set to a very political driven type of game, but with music and with vibes and with all this resistance happening. I love it, the way this game looks, and the backdrop of this game is interesting because you're basically fighting the power. Your character Felix, he puts on these headphones, and so he's resistant to the commands of this dystopian leader. So there's a lot of hilarity there. This game also came out on May the 20th, so it is out right now for you to play. If you want to see more of what this game is about, check out the Steam page, or you can check out the trailer right now.
City of Phonopolis was like a perfectly conducted orchestra. Guided by loudspeakers, we listened to the leader's commands, working in unison to build his masterpiece. We all awaited the arrival of the absolute tone, a tone so strong it would make us happy forever. That's what we believed. But then I stopped listening, and for the first time, I could hear my own thoughts.
Luna Abyss is a single-player, story-driven action-adventure with fluid platforming and bullet-hell combat. Follow the journey of Fox, a prisoner of Luna caught between a cryptic prophecy and their prison sentence. It's basically like a first-person Returnal or Sorrow, so the bullet hell looks really cool. Luna Abyss actually came out on May the 21st, so it is available right now for purchase if you want to play it. It has a few reviews up, and it's looking pretty good right now, so check the full game out if you haven't already. Luna Abyss is really fun.
Urian Caldecott, wanted for historic crimes against the old colony.
I'm waiting for you at the cathedral. There's something here you really need to see.
You truly do mean to kill him, don't you?
What do you think a man like him would do with all of that power?
How do you expect me to kill a god?
Your job is to lead me to the gallows. Maybe you ought to ask yourself why.
Here, folks. What do you do for fun? Other than shooting things, I mean.
Urian told you about the prophecy, didn't he? Of course he did.
I've got a lot riding on you, Fox. On time is running short.
What horrible thing have you awakened? You just tried to kill me!
Men were never meant to control gods.
Stupid child! Can't you see you've fallen for a lie?
Got an early access update for some games that I've been playing over the past month, and Dead as Disco is one of them. You've already seen me talk about Dead as Disco a couple of times, but man, this game is amazing, and I know a lot of people feel the same way because this game has already sold over 200,000 copies. It's sitting at over 5,000 reviews on Steam with overwhelmingly positive reviews, and rightfully so, because this game is amazing, and they've done so much work already, even in this early access state. It is so much fun. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about what they've released so far in the roadmap. So in the month of June, they're gonna be releasing some Infinite Disco upgrades. So you see a little bit more to the Infinite Disco, which is basically like the arcade version of everything. Once you get through all the story battles, essentially just doing all the challenges and doing all the songs that you've done in the story battles, as well as some songs that you've done, or you can also add in songs that you have also made as well into the Infinite Disco. So some upgrades to that in the midsummer, because we're in hot gamer summer right now. They're going to be doing some fashion upgrades, so a little bit more cosmetic upgrades, and then to end out the summer, they're going to be adding in another idol or one of the other bosses. So you'll get to see one of the other bosses that you haven't seen yet, that's popped up on the big giant TV screen that you see when you go to choose the certain bosses that you want to fight. And then later on, they said in the fall, tour dates announced. I'm not sure what that really means. And then they have a version 1.0 launch sometime in 2027. And they have a lot of things like co-op multiplayer, more music, new boss idols, new skills and abilities, enemies, areas, narrative arcs, a full voiceovers, memorabilia, rockstar fashion, dive bar renovations, achievements, accessibility, mod support, which is something that I did talk about in one of my previous videos. So you'll have a little bit of mod support, which is awesome because people have already done a lot of mods with this game already. So it'd be great to see some actual mods put into the full version of the game that's actually dev supported, which is, I can't wait to see what that means. But we'll get Michael Jackson skins, we'll get other character skins, we'll get anything you can conceive of. I think they could probably add in, because there's a lot that you can do with a song, especially the fact that you can add in different tracks to this. I've seen a lot from just pop music to, I think I saw like anime music put in there. And so just as long as it works well within the framework of the game, I think this will be fantastic. There was so much content already packed into Dead as Disco, and we're just in the early access state, and this is early access done right, I feel like, because they've done so much work initially in the game itself, and they're just going to continue to build on it. And when this game launches, launches in 1.0, this game is going to be bursting with content, and it's already had more content than I could ever conceive of right now. And it has so much replayability from all the different songs and the bosses and the songs that you can add in and all the different challenges to the Infinite Disco. And so far I played a lot of it. I think I played about 12 hours so far. I've pretty much unlocked everything that I needed to unlock so far. I've gotten through all the story based content. I've done a lot of the challenges. I've done a lot of the Infinite Disco. So I've kind of put it down for right now, and then I'll come back to it as we continue to update. But I'm going to continue to follow the progress of Dead as Disco, because man, this game is so much fun. I hope you're playing Dead as Disco. If you haven't already, what are you doing? This is a great game. One of the coolest music-based beat 'em ups I've seen in a long time. I love this game. And of course, Alabaster Dawn, which released at the end of May, is going strong and in full support. If I had to describe this game in one word, I think it would be refreshing. It's almost like grabbing a ice cold Coke at the end of a very hot day, and it's just so refreshing. The music, the environment, the world of Alabaster Dawn is just so beautiful and refreshing, and every time I boot it up, it just feels good to be in this world. The menu screens and also some of the things that you interact with in the game kind of reminds me a lot of Kingdom Hearts, and maybe that's kind of the inspiration behind this game. And I know these are the developers of Crosscode, so they already have experience with crafting these very beautiful worlds. And so Alabaster Dawn is great. I'm loving the story so far. I'm loving the combat, the customization of it. So I'm not too far into it. I haven't fully reached the end of this yet, but I put a fair amount of time into it. You have your main character Juno that you're playing, but the other person that you're with, Ophelia, she's not even playable. She's actually just like an NPC companion that helps you out as you go. So that, yeah, it ties in to the full story and the full lore of what the game is presenting. But yeah, I like this game so far. Again, super refreshing. So a little bit of a roadmap to describe to you for Alabaster Dawn that the devs have put out recently is that the first update they'll put out is a new swamp and a dungeon, and then later on they're going to do another area and another dungeon, and then a couple more areas, and another big story update to another area, another dungeon, another area, another dungeon. You kind of see the progression there, and then another second big story update, and then into a 1.0. And according to the devs, they said early access will continue as long as necessary to complete the main story of the game. Since Alabaster Dawn, much like Crosscode, is ambitious in scope, we expect early access to go on for at least 2 years. This allows us to not rush development and to deliver a final game we can be proud of. So be in it for the long haul when it comes to the development of Alabaster Dawn. But again, this game is so refreshing and nice. I think you want to be more immersed in this world and be immersed in the story and to see how everything progresses. Something that was released recently is that they're doing a collaboration with their own project. So we got Alabaster Dawn, Crosscode, and Shade Protocol. Shade Protocol, if you don't know what this is a game that has not been announced yet. It has no release date as of right now. It doesn't even have a demo. It's a 2D cyber fantasy Metroidvania where music, code, and combat collide. You can swap between Dawn and Shade forms to unleash devastating abilities and wield instruments as weapons. So yeah, this game is going to be amazing. And even in the trailer that you're seeing right now, you see the collaboration between Crosscode and Alabaster Dawn. So that's gonna be really cool. They kind of have a similar vibe, kind of have a similar anime vibe to it. So yeah, I'm excited to see the characters from Crosscode and Alabaster Dawn show up in Shade Protocol, and I'm excited to see how this game grows and how this game progresses. Flow across the warped, corrupt planet Syro, master movement as the Seeker, double jump, dash, levitate, and grapple through atmospheric ruins. Scan, solve puzzles, and engage in measured combat in waves of stillness and frenzy. This is Calx. Hopefully I'm saying that name right. It's called Calx. Really cool. I love this vibe of this game. The environment and the vibe kind of remind me a little bit of Hyper Light Breakers. Rest in peace, Hyper Light Breakers. This is more of an action adventure exploration hack and slash combat as opposed to a roguelike. But I mean, the vibes are a little bit of the same. A bit of bullet hell, a little bit of bullet heaven also as well. But again, the vibes of this game look really well. This game was actually set to come out on June the 4th, but they just delayed it. Just found out they delayed it to October the 8th. So yeah, but there is a demo available you can play right now, but you'll have to wait until October instead of June. But it'll be well worth your time. It'll be well worth your wait. Check out Calx. Play as a corrupt detective on the mob's payroll and cover up their crimes. Read files, collect information, and obscure evidence to frame an innocent bystander who was at the wrong place at the wrong time. After all, crime pays. This is an interesting take on a detective noir type of story because you're not playing as the good guy. You're not playing as some sort of hard-boiled detective. You are a corrupt mob-based detective. This game is a basic adventure 2D point-and-click style where you have various dialogue options. No release date on it so far, but check out the trailer for Crime or Punishment. Echoes of Mystralia is an action-heavy spell-crafting ARPG roguelike where rapid combat meets deep customization. Craft your own spells, unlock new combinations, fight epic bosses, and discover a narrative-rich world that never plays the same twice. Anytime you have a game that is an action roguelike that has the top-down style of a Hades, I'm already in there. I gotta check it out. This game is a lot of fun, especially the fact that you can craft your different magical-based combos, almost kind of like Wizard of Legend, but a little bit upscaled in its quality and its presentation, also with full voice acting as well. Very fun demo, very fun game. No announcement date so far, but this is set to come out sometime in 2026. So much fun. Check out the demo for Echoes of Mystralia.
Feel the fire and claim your deliverance.
The Witch's Bakery is a 2D adventure RPG where you live a magical life as a witch baker in Paris. Manage your store, visit iconic streets, and heal people's hearts with your croissants. This game is the coziest of cozy games, and it's all French based, and you're just healing people's hearts with the magic of food. What could be more cozy than that? I've seen the progression of this game for a while on Threads, and the demo itself does not disappoint. It's really fun, really cozy. A couple sides to it. It's kind of a life sim RPG, so you do have contacts. There's only a certain amount of things you can do throughout the day. Basically, you work your shop in the day and go see a movie. You can go decorate your shop. You can maybe do some more work. You can work on your baking skills. There's also the other side where you're using your powers as a witch to dive into people's hearts, trying to figure out what ails them. There's some sadness, there's some regret, kind of healing their emotions, and to see where that takes you as well. Releases sometime in August, so not actual date, but sometime in August of this year. So check out The Witch's Bakery.
Hello Paris! Bonjour! 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 Oh! Oh! Ça va être super! Bonjour!
Welcome to the Bug Scraper. In this solo or co-op roguelike shooter, battle floor after floor of enemies, aim for the top, and settle the score with your tyrannical boss. There is so much happening on the screen. I cannot believe this is going to be a co-op game where you can play 1 to 4 players. Even playing as 1 player for this demo, I was like, there is so much happening. I cannot imagine the amount of chaos that would ensue when you're playing as 4 players. Bug Scraper is a lot of fun. Comes out sometime in Q2 of 2026. The demo is available right now. Check out Bug Scraper. And of course, we got to talk about the community. So for the month of June, the Good Game Lobby community is going to be playing Tunic. Hopefully, I'll actually get to play it this time. I actually have it scheduled. I just re-downloaded it on my Steam Deck. Gonna have it loaded up on my PC. So whenever I have time, when I'm swapping between games, Tunic is going to be on my playlist. So I want to be able to play it. So jump in to Tunic with us. This is one of those games you probably need to play if you're in the indie spaces. So I've heard it's kind of highly up there with one of the Zelda likes, so I definitely need to play Tunic. So I can't wait to jump in and dive in to see what all the fuss is about and talk about it amongst the community. If you want to join us in that process, be sure to join the Good Game Lobby Discord. Play Tunic with us this month in June. So the first person featured in this community section is another writer on Substack by the name of Joe, and he says, "Hi, my name is Joe. I've been writing about video games on Substack. My publication called The Save Game is all about uncovering new and old gaming favorites, sharing thoughtful opinions on gaming news, and helping my readers find ways to rekindle their love for video games. I enjoy reflecting on the nostalgic video games that mattered a lot in my life, but will often dive into newer games too. My articles are free to read, and I want your experiences as a reader to matter. I release a new article every week as well as my regular blog posts. Some of my articles turn into a series, including a series on Dragon Quest IX and Fallout 4. I also have a long-term series called Game Saves where I dive into recent gaming news, review video game accessories, and spotlight others in the gaming community. You've learned a bit about me, but I would love to learn more about you. Look up The Save Game on Google to find my Substack and subscribe for free because I'd love for you to join me on this journey too. I also frequent the Good Game Lobby server on Discord, and I love chatting with you all of the good folks there. Thank you, Chike, for highlighting The Save Game. Thank you, Joe, for being a part of this little community showcase, and I love the way that this looks. As you've been seeing already, I've been talking about this. He does a number of different articles. His most recent article that I'm looking at is on the emotional impacts of Detroit Become Human. Love the way Joe shares his experience in all of his writings, and so definitely check out his page. Thank you again, Joe, for wanting to be featured in this community section.
Hi there, I'm Nerd Pastor Nate, and I am a real life pastor, but I am also a lot of different things online. The ones that pertain the most to you watching are that I like to write and think at the intersection of pop culture, anime, video games, technology, and religion. The best places to find me for that are probably over on my YouTube channel, where I've written nearly 200 video essays under the Checkpoint Church channel on some of my favorite media. Or you can check out my GamesThatMatter.com blog, where I am writing some poetic kind of verse about video games and the way that they impact us and how they matter to us. Most importantly, my mission online is really just to let people know that maybe have never heard it from a pastor before, that I really do think that you matter. I love good stories, and I love the way they impact us, and I believe that video games are art that evokes something rich in our lives. Hope to see you around the internet.
Bumblehorn is a indie game dev. He released a small playdate game called Echo the Oracle Scroll, which he did well enough to quit his job. He's now working with his partner on a roguelike inspired by Greek mythology. Wonder, the double-sided deck builder, which is a game where you flip coins in a score-based battles. Every coin does something different on each side. A big part of the gameplay is upgrading and changing the probability of how the coins will land and to score even higher, ultimately escaping purgatory. Got a few games out, like you just put in that blurb there just a second ago. He actually has another game coming out called Echo's Climb, which hasn't been announced yet, but it does have a trailer. It does have a demo available, so you can check out Echo's Climb, as well as Echo the Oracle Scroll if you have a play date, or you can check out Wonder, the double-sided deck builder as well, which actually released not too long ago, a couple weeks ago. In fact, yeah, really fun game. Thank you so much, Bumblehorn, for being featured in this part of the showcase, and I hope people check out your games. And now for the moment that most of you have been waiting for, talking about games that are considered Game of the Year contenders. And let me really preface this when I say Game of the Year contenders. Every year I have games that I make a list for. I do a top 10 favorite games of 2020 something at the end of this. And so every year I've been kind of building a list of games. Every time I finish it, I kind of put over in the corner, either it's my favorite game or a Game of the Year contender. So this is a very personal list of games that I feel like will be in the running for Game of the Year, kind of maybe top 3 spots when I do my end of the year gaming list for 2026. Again, this is not games that I feel like should be on the Game of the Year contender list for like major award ceremonies like the Game Awards, although maybe some of them should be. These are some of the games that have blown me out of the water so far, games that I've really liked that I would put them in the Game of the Year contender spot. That's a big preface. Also, there's some games that are not going to show up on the list on this list because I have not played them all the way through or at all yet. Case in point, Mina the Hollower just came out recently and I have not even touched that game, even though I'm going to buy it. I'm going to put it on the list, but I just haven't played it yet. Also, Crimson Desert is one of those games that I feel like is going to be in the running for the Game of the Year contention, at least in my eyes. I don't know if that's going to work out in the wider gaming sphere, even though it was like very controversial at the time because of the controls. Even though this game has so much in it, I feel like this is probably going to be in a conversation later on down the year, but that remains to be seen. But me personally, I've only put in about 5 hours, and that's nowhere near enough time that I put in the Crimson Desert. So yeah, that's going to be not in this conversation, but there are 4 games that I'm going to talk about right now that are in it, my personal running for a Game of the Year contender. Gonna start off by talking about Mio Memories in Orbit. Oh my gosh, this is one of my favorite Metroidvanias of all of 2026 so far. This game is amazing. I've talked about this game before and how immaculate the presentation of this game is. Even the music in this game is amazing. I remember when I was playing this game consistently, trying to get through it, I was bumping this soundtrack constantly. The composer of this game has so many tracks available and they hit so well, especially the boss themes. They are so well done. You really need to check out the soundtrack of Mio Memories in Orbit if you haven't already. The soundtrack alone really puts this game so far up for me because as a musician, I am drawn to sound design. I am drawn to soundtracks, and this game is so much fun to play with the soundtrack. This very ethereal and choir-esque experience. Even from the moment you boot up the game, you have this choir just kind of rising from the surface and then everything they're in, especially when you get into the later parts of the boss fight. So every boss fight has a theme, and then when you get towards the end of the boss fights, you kind of hear the vocals kick in with all of the different boss themes, and it's so much fun. Even though everything is kind of an automaton, there's also a lot of emotion, also a lot of expression within the lore with all the characters of this game. And so that's why Mio Memories in Orbit is such a fantastic game. That's why it puts it in the Game of the Year contender for me. Another Game of the Year contender for me is Cairn. This is the best climbing game I've played. Even though I would say I've not played a whole lot of climbing games, this is probably the only like actual full climbing game I've played to completion. But Cairn is a fantastic game. From the moment to moment gameplay, there is so much tension in this game, from climbing each section of the mountain, going from place to place, and every time you get just the right amount of grip, trying to move your legs or your arms and trying to see if you can make it up just that one part of the cliff to get to that next place where you can camp out and kind of rest and refuel and recharge for that same moment, and also save your game as well is so cathartic and so impressive and so much fun. You kind of feel the same tension that Ava feels as she's climbing the mountain. And while I'm talking about Ava, the story in and of itself is actually really captivating and interesting. You can see each moment you have a cutscene, you kind of dive into more of the psyche and the mental state that Ava has as she's climbing the mountain. You also meet someone else as you actually climb the mountain. You kind of see the back and forth that they're having with the goals of why they're wanting to climb this mountain. And you can see the determination in Ava's eyes as she's trying to just be the best climber that she can be against the wishes of people that love her and want to see the best for her. You can kind of see how obsessed she is with climbing this mountain. There's actual choices at the end of the story. I did not know there's actually choices that you can have at the end of this. You can actually make several choices that affect the way that the game ends. And so I'm not going to tell you what those choices are. You'll kind of have to figure that for yourself if you play the game. But yeah, there's actual choices as you get toward the end of the game. But man, this game is amazing. And I felt every single moment I climbed up this mountain, everything felt so immersed. This is probably one of the most immersive experiences I've had with the game in a long time. And that's why this game sits at the top of the list for me. Even though this game came out early in the game, I remember so many fun, intense moments of this game, even to the point where I was getting really frustrated because there were moments where I was like, man, I don't know if I can make it up all this mountain. I don't really have enough water or food or enough to help me on, but I had to climb down the mountain, gather more resources, climb back up, refill on more resources, save again, and then make the trek all the way up and then finish the game entirely. There's some free DLC coming out for the game if you haven't known that already. Not a full release date on it so far, but there is more content coming out with Karen. There's also a little bit more difficulty you can put in if you want to. You could do a full free solo mode where you don't even have the robot and you just kind of have to make it up as you see fit, and death is permanent. So yeah, Karen is great. If you haven't played Karen already, it's a fantastic game. I highly recommend this amazing game. And another game that you've also heard about if you're in the gaming sphere is Mouse PI for Hire. If you haven't even played this game, you've seen a lot of the talk about this, even the controversy around IGN giving this game a 6, which I think is actually pretty crazy because Mouse PI for Hire is incredible. To the 1930s rubber hose Steamboat Willie art style, to the detective noir vibe, to all the cheesy dialogue, to all of the fun FPS combat, Mouse PI for Hire is amazing, an incredible experience from end to end. It may be a little bit too long, maybe it overstays its welcome a little bit, but I mean, this game is so much fun. The dialogue is amazing, the combat is fun, cycling through all the weapons to see how crazy they are, especially when you upgrade them, is a lot of fun. This game ran perfectly on the Steam Deck. The animations are incredible. Everything has so much life to it. Everything is just well done. There's nothing really bad I can say about Mouse PI for Hire. I feel like it is a perfect game in every way. And I know no game is perfect. I love this game a lot. I feel like I'm slurring my words when I'm saying Mouse PI for Hire, but man, this game is amazing. I knew this game was going to be amazing from the moment that I saw the trailer, from the moment that I saw all the progression of it, how this game played out. I'm so glad that many people were right on that, and Mouse PI for Hire is an amazing game. I'm sure this game is going to come up again in conversations as we get into award season, as we get further on in the year. I feel like this game is really going to stick in 2026. All right, let's talk about Mixtape. This game is one of the most divisive games that I've seen in a long time. The conversation around this game is very interesting. It's been very interesting to see. Something that I feel like I don't need to do, but I'm going to show you anyway, just so you know where I'm coming from. I'm going to show you that I actually did purchase this game. I did not receive a review code for this game because I know, based on what I'm about to say about this game, will be viewed very negatively because maybe people thought I received a code for this game, but I did not actually purchase this game with my own money. Again, I don't feel like I needed to do that. For the purposes of what I'm about to say about this game, I feel like I need to. I like Mixtape. There it is. I like Mixtape. I think it's a really fun game. It is a game. I remember seeing the 10 out of 10s I was getting from IGN and all the other people in the gaming space. I was like, man, this game is really, it must be really good. And I will say, I don't feel like this game does deserve a 10 out of 10. I will say that. Is it a 10 out of 10? To me, not really. But I do feel like it is one of the best narrative games that I've played in a long time. Nostalgia is a very powerful thing, and it hits me so well. I love cheesy high school school dramas. I really love that. I love games like that kind of tackle the edgy teen drama, kind of you just graduated high school, this is your last summer in high school together as a friend group, and you're about to go off to college. You're kind of recreating the memory. Has a kind of a little bit of fantasy elements to it, where you're flying amongst the clouds, you're kind of flying through all of these fields, you're pretending you're a dinosaur, you're shooting off fireworks, you're shooting off cars with fireworks, you're just doing all these crazy fantastical things in your brain, kind of recreating these memories, and that's a lot of fun. And I just love that juxtapose all of this edgy and just corny teenage dialogue. Again, I know people think that the dialogue is corny and cheesy, and it is, and I think that's on purpose. I don't know if that's a cop out or anything, but I love that kind of dialogue. That is really funny to me, and I don't really relate to any of these teens. These are people that I did not hang around when I was in high school. These are not people that are really resonated with me. I did not have this kind of experience when I was in high school. I think the only thing that I really related to is being in high school and having an end of the year summer thing where I was spending the summer with friends that I probably won't see for a long time, or we'd be going our separate ways. That's kind of the only thing that I have to reference in regards to Mixtape. But again, this game is a lot of fun, and it captures some good nostalgia, some good feels, and has some good music. I know all of this game is basically licensed music, so it's not really original music related to Mixtape, and that's kind of the whole point with this game. But again, it works for me. I like it. I like the kind of the gameplay segments. This is a game. Again, this is a game. I played this on a gaming system. This is a video game sold on a video game platform, and I know that's kind of the argument there. Is this a video game? Because you don't really do a whole lot of button presses, but there's a whole argument to be had there. I'm not really wanting to have that argument with anybody. If you don't feel like this is a video game, that is your opinion. You're allowed to have that opinion. You're allowed to have any negative opinions towards Mixtape, but I personally like this game just because it is a fun experience. I play a lot of action heavy games. I play a lot of games that have a lot of interactability with it. So a game like this, on the flip side of interactivity, with very minimal interactivity based on games that have a lot of interactivity, if you're to compare this to like a Crimson Desert or something like that, this game would be, this game is like the opposite side, where Crimson Desert has everything to do and Mixtape has literally nothing to do, because it's a very short and narrative based adventure game where you're doing just a few button presses, if at all, if you don't really need to. Games are art. Games will always be art. Doesn't matter what genre they're in. And so this is just a part of the medium, a part of the art form, where someone decided that they wanted to create their version of nostalgia in this game Mixtape and create the gameplay systems that they are, very minimal as it may be. It just is what it is. I've never seen so many people angry about Mixtape before in my life. Man, the 10 out of 10s from every gaming journalist outfit out there, I think really got people upset. I think that's probably really the real reason behind why people were so upset, that they feel like Mixtape does not deserve a 10 out of 10. And like I said before, I do not personally think this game is a 10 out of 10. If I were to rate this game as a number system, and I feel like number systems are kind of outdated as it is, but it does help inform people when it comes to purchasing video games. But I would say this is probably, at least for me, an 8 out of 10. And I know that's interesting to say because I'm considering this as a game of the year contender. But if I were to kind of rate this game as a game, it would be an 8 out of 10. But I still feel like this game is in the running for me personally of kind of my top 3 games of 2026. And that may change. I don't know where this will lie at the end of the year. This may not even make the list. This may be at 10. I don't know. Part of the reason why I make the list that I make is that I think about games that have stuck with me throughout the year, and I feel like Mixtape is going to be a game that sticks with me just based on what I just said earlier, that nostalgia is a powerful thing. And so I think that's kind of the sticking power. That's where Mixtape is going to be for me, and that's why it's going to be in the game of the year contender list. But again, you're allowed to hold the opinion that you hold. If you do not agree with me, if you do not agree with anybody who said anything positive about Mixtape, you will well within your right to do so. It is what it is. It's just a video game. It's not that deep. Let's move on. Well, I hope you enjoyed the technically end of May / beginning of June Indie Game Radar for the Basic Fun channel. So I hope you checked that out. I hope you enjoyed all the things that I showed off for any of the demos. Thank you so much to Joe, Bumbleborn, and Nate for the contributions in the community section as well. If you have thoughts about Mixtape, please keep it simple down in the comments. Again, it is what it is. It's not that deep. It's just a video game. I'm always willing to dive into a conversation about things that people may agree or disagree with me me on, so it is what it is. I'm all about that. But there's so much going down in June. We got summer showcases happening, we got Summer Games Fest, and of course Steam Next Fest is popping up towards mid-June, about the 15th to the 22nd. Gonna be talking a lot about the demos that I've played over Steam Next Fest, so that's gonna be the theme of June at the end of June. Hopefully I get that out in time this time, but it is what it is. If I'm not, I'll get it out at some point. If you're a dev or there's someone that watches my videos, if you're someone who's making a game, if you have a demo dropping during that time, be sure to let me know down in the comments, or send me an email, send me a message on Threads, send me a message on Discord. I would love to connect with you and love to highlight your game here on the channel as well. Thank you so much for checking out everything that I got going on. I will try to put out a little bit more videos relating to some other games that I've been playing, not just Steam Next Fest related content, but some other indie game related stuff. But yeah, be sure to check that out. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Chike, and I will see you on the next one. Peace out.